From the rib of man you came, mother, daughter, sister, aunt. You are woman. The essence of life is birthed by you. We are all on a journey with our goals in view. Be strong, be empowered today as we present Women on Wednesday. Well, let me say good morning. It is Wednesday. It is good to have you with us. I hope you're hearing us clearly on our live stream this morning as we present Women on Wednesday. It's been a while since we've been with you today. And I am Marissa Boyce. It's good to have you with us as we are live. And today I have with me Minister Andrea Harris. It's been a while. How are you doing, Minister Andrea Harris?
Good morning, Marissa. Good morning to all who are hearing and seeing us. I am thankful. I've been doing mix. I've been doing mix, but I'm thankful.
Yeah, it's good to see you and to actually, sometimes COVID has put, well, not between us, but between many,
Yeah.
the ability to be able to interact and to see and to hear each other. But I'm glad that I'm able to see you this morning and to actually join with our viewers today as we start today's edition of Women on Wednesday. And as we discussed today, the men have had their discussion and they've been going for a bit. And today we are taking a different slant. We'll join the men, but today I thought that we should start with a check-in. Andrea, there's nothing wrong with a check-in. I have utilized WhatsApp like what? Send a message, check on someone, to hear what's going on with them. And so often we can become so busy that we forget a check-in, a simple check-in.
Yes. Checking is necessary. To go anywhere, you need to check in. Think about traveling. If you're going to travel, if you're going from a point A to point B, if you want to move from Barbados to another state, another country, you have to check in. You don't just get there. There's a check-in. And it's not that kind of check-in, but check-in is about, movement, connecting, about relating. It is about, just getting there into somebody's space. And in this season, everybody is not good. They're not gun-ho on checking. I do it with my legacy partners every month because I think that that's necessary. But for me, even with all that's been happening, oh, she's powerful. Oh, she's a preacher. Oh, she knows the word. Oh, and they put you in a box and they have certain perceptions about you and certain opinions of you. But then there's that real you that some people don't know. And when you recognize, what, this is much. And for me, I must admit, even though checking is necessary, checking even though checking is necessary, I recognize that, everybody don't have the capacity to. Everybody does not have the capacity to. So the thing now is to be able to find who has crept under the rock, find who has gone into the closet, find who has just, closed the shutters and is just in the room and try to reach them where they are. And that's really so very critical.
I'm glad you said that because I find that we must understand that everyone deals with their challenges differently. I'm a person that sometimes when my challenges come, I go into my little hole. I can sometimes withdraw. And I often say to thyself, be true. And that means also pausing, sometimes taking a step back. And sometimes you have to go back and you have to say, okay, how am I going to manage this? How am I going to navigate this? Especially when every decision you make does not only affect you.
That's right.
I think we need to pay attention that when it doesn't only affect you, you have to pause sometimes, and the rushed decisions that you can make, you can't always make. And if you understand that that's how you operate, you better. I think sometimes you understand how you handle your challenges versus saying, as someone saying, oh, you should rush and do that, you should rush and do that. Sometimes you have to pause, as I say, sometimes even recalibrate and say, I'm going to try this, or maybe I should look at this, rather than feeling that you need to live up to everybody's standards, especially when you are going through. And the thing is that we all go through, Andrea. Some
Yes,
people
we
are
do.
going through and they will never say anything to you.
That's true, and it comes down really to our emotional intelligence, how we, as you said, that word navigate, how we are able to see, understand, and be true to what is really happening with us. Be aware of what is happening, and beyond awareness, look to see how we can deal with, how we can manage, we can fix or be fixed. But sometimes, and justifiably so, some persons, because sometimes the world can be so unkind, and the world can be so mean, and the world has unrealistic expectations of us, and they place them on us at times, and causes us to bear or have to carry the burden that we should not be carrying, because we want to be able to live up to the expectations of others, and because of seeking to please others, and live up to their expectations, we end up hurting ourselves. We end up finding ourselves in some ways in a hole, or finding ourselves falling apart, because we are not real, we are not honest, we are not confronting. And a lot of what is happening today, I never could imagine my life, or I am at the stage where I'm at now in my life. I could never have imagined this, Marissa. Never in my wildest dream. But I came to the realization that this news flash that is out and about is so real. COVID-19 pandemic is
Mhm.
here. It is here. And it is clearly not going anywhere soon. And because it is here, it has made its presence felt, and it has impacted us in a myriad of ways. Everybody does not have the capacity to navigate themselves in this environment well, because we've never been here before. It is new.
Yeah.
And because it is no respect of persons, it is what COVID equals, in my estimation. COVID-19 equals change. COVID
Mm.
19 equals change. Everything about our lives have changed. Whoever we are, from the least to the greatest, from the mightiest to the less mighty, from the strongest to the weakest. I want us to understand that COVID-19 pandemic equals change. So we have to replace something. We have to replace what we had with something else. We have to do things differently. We have to modify our behaviors and modify our lifestyles and modify. We have to do major adjustments
Yeah.
and readjustments. There, what COVID has also do is kind of activated creativity, and activated intuition, and innovation, and initiative. That's what COVID has also done. So it is not all bad, but the fact is COVID equals change. What do we do when change comes? How do we manage change? How do we apply ourselves? How do we adjust ourselves? And that's the big situation. Change. And we know that even though we are creatures of habit, and change is difficult very often for many of us. People don't like to change, they don't like to transition. When you get into a rut, or in a routine, or in a structure, you feel comfortable, you feel
Hmm.
safe, and so you don't want to divert or deviate from that. But then when change is thrust upon you, it is okay if you are in control of the change, and you can manage your movement. But when the change is beyond you, it is out of your control, it is out of your hands, that is where the problem comes. And this is what is happening today. COVID equals change. So we have to change the way that we are living today in so many ways. So many
You,
ways.
as you're sharing, I want to say good morning to Donna, Dion, Cheryl, all who are joining with us today. I'm really hearing the static. I hope you guys are hearing clearly. You know what you said? COVID equals change. There's some people, for them the excitement is to go to the supermarket.
Mm-hmm.
Could you imagine even that dynamic changing?
Yes.
I
Yes.
must say, I don't really like going to the supermarket. I don't, you know. I'm a person, I pop in and I come right back out.
Mm-hmm.
But to know that, to think to go to the supermarket means I must have this list because I don't want to go back 2 and 3 times. That is me. I'm now a social butterfly, and I felt as if I was choked off, where um, the gatherings can no longer happen.
Mm-hmm.
So, not being able to hang with friends and so forth, I had to make an adjustment. Um, when you have even children who are social butterflies and they have to change, and you have to find ways to entertain them, and I really don't like having my girls on devices all the time. They can tell you as big as they are. I tell them, put them down now. Let's find something else to do. So it's a real change. And for those of you who know, you know that CT Radio has closed. So that was one of my major changes too. And we talk about check-in. Andrea can tell you. I'm probably going to be a little transparent here. On our final day of being on air, you guys would not know I could not keep it together.
Mm-hmm.
Andrea could tell you the tears were flowing. You guys probably didn't see them,
Mm-hmm.
but the tears were flowing. And then I had to I had to transition. And actually, what I experienced was, in counseling was loss, a major loss. You've been doing this thing for 20 years and it's just gone. And it opened the reality of people who've lost jobs, who've lost livelihood, who've lost a sense of life. Their normalcy has now changed.
Mm-hmm.
And because of that change, it causes you then to recalibrate and rethink. And if there's one thing in this process, as you said, Andrea, the change. COVID has brought change. It is in this process we ask ourselves, God, where do we go next with this change? God, show me how to navigate this. Um, how do I get to this next place? What is next? So if I'm there, I know there are other people who are asking these questions, but that their change is different from mine. And then to create a sense of normalcy for yourself after that, while not losing your faith. That part is quite key. While not losing your faith, because it is so easy to
Mm-hmm.
question God
Yeah.
to the point where you walk away.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And people will say, but then you're supposed to be a believer. This is
Mm-hmm.
when you hold on to God. But when listen to me, when you are there, the process becomes even real. If I can, even more real. It's even more real. And then the impact it has on you and on others, because then you have to keep yourself together, because you also are responsible for others.
Yeah.
So you have to ask yourself, how do I process? How do I mourn? How do I navigate this? How do I keep holding on to my faith in Christ while not losing it?
Mm-hmm.
If I can, that sounds real,
Yeah.
while
Of course.
not
Of course.
losing it.
Yeah. Yeah. Change is hard. Change is very difficult. Change can be hard. It can be very stressful. It can be very overwhelming, especially when you don't know what you're changing to. It's okay if you know what you're changing to, but if you don't know what you're changing to, that's where the stress comes. That's where the overwhelming feeling comes. So that when you talked about the supermarket, how we shop, how we conduct our lives. I mean, just to shop has changed. You would get up, you would jump in your vehicle, you would go to the supermarket, you would walk around, you would browse around. You can't do that now. Sometimes you have to stand up in the line and to say, "Oh, I have to stand in the line." You say
Listen to me,
tomorrow.
that does something to my mind, to me.
Yes,
Having to stand in that
yes,
line, I've had to actually tell myself, all right, put on some AirPods, music.
yeah,
Um, it's a great change. And while
yeah,
some people are fine
yes,
with it, there are others who are like,
yeah.
they will not even go out because of it.
Yes, and you know how many times I would have done without something because I just didn't want to deal with having to stand in a line or stand in the sun. And then coupled with that, the fact that you may have celebrate your children might have had a birthday, and one time you would have everybody coming around, the significant others in your life. You can't celebrate birthdays as you used to before. So celebrations now have been reduced, and you know what, our socialization has been severely threatened and interrupted. And we have been made by God to socialize. And our socialization has been severely, almost shut down. When we understand this, then we think about the emerging issues from all that has gone on. So you
Mhm.
get things like fear and anxiety and worry and frustration and anger and depression. And all of these are emerging from what is happening in our
Yes.
world now. And PTSD and people are on the verge of even losing their minds. And I understand because I've been going through a similar, emotional roller coaster myself. And saying, God, when will this be over? Where you don't want to talk to anybody, I mean, you have to at times, but you only do it when you have to. But you feel as though, you know what? I just do not want to. I just don't have the strength. I don't have the intestinal fortitude
Hmm.
to pull on right now to reach out to. And the other thing that has happened is because of the lack of socialization, the now inundation of the social media, that now has become another area where it's impacting people. It has impacted my life, so that you have to turn off notifications, because if you look around, if I look at my phone, I know for sure I have over 1,000 messages, and it is like you just
Yes.
cannot keep up. It is so overwhelming, and people will judge you. And that's the other thing. People will even take an offense because they judge you based on who they are. They judge you based on their personality.
Hmm.
They judge you based on how they do it, how they handle it, and what they would do. And they don't understand, what, we are our own individuals. Even the people that we've brought into this world, everybody have their own personal identity. And because you may do it this way, the other person might not have the wherewithal, the fortitude, the push, the driver to do it the way you do it. So as opposed to being offensive or getting angry or getting vexed or thinking you're not judging the person and saying, oh, the person might be ignoring you or the person might not want to talk to you. No, just pull back. Just pull back a little bit and understand that all of us are dealing with a pandemic. All of us are dealing with a changed lifestyle in the true sense of the word, and all of us will respond differently. What we need now is that support. It is time for us to like move away, pull ourselves away, around the corner, turn the corner, and
Yes.
begin to be objective about how we see it, how we view it, how we will pursue it, how we will handle it, how we will take it on, as opposed to trying to bury others and superimpose our opinions or our feelings or our interpretations or our judgment on others. We need, as individuals, each individual, to begin to look at this matter in a way that would cause us to be realistic, and not just realistic but also empathetic toward each other.
As you're sharing, I'm thinking, how how can we be more sympathetic and empathetic with people and not, I think we only understand based on our socialization. That's the first thing. So we have to challenge ourselves to not think, oh, well, she ain't even message me, she ain't even call me, and those type of um mannerisms. Change that. Message and say, how are you? How are you going through? Pay attention to it. The introverts, the extroverts are having to navigate differently. Like this comment here by Dawn, she says, persons like me who are introvert by nature, they become even more so. that they hate leaving the house and they don't feel like they interacting with anyone.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And then for me, my concern is your mental health in the midst of it.
Mm-hmm.
And let
Mm-hmm.
me tell you something. I don't play with my mental health now after what I've been through.
Mm-hmm.
The pause sometimes, and to respect other people's pauses too.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I think we
That's
need to understand that respect other people's pauses. If they say, I need some time,
mm-hmm.
respect it. You can still
Yeah.
check in, but
Yes.
respect it. Because we talk about the fact that we're all going through, but how are we going to help each other through it?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That is key. Because too many people have become so self-centered in this season of COVID
Mm-hmm.
that we forget each other. Yes, everybody's going through, but mental health, if it means you have to go to the beach by yourself, even if it means I say, Andrea, come, let's go to the beach because I need some support at that time,
Mm-hmm.
you know, it is, and it's such a thin line that we have to be aware.
Yes. Marissa, you are so accurate there because mental health really is about the state of our well-being, where we can observe and acknowledge and realize our abilities, and to be able to manage and cope with the normal mundane stresses of life, and not only cope with it but can be productive as we are coping, can be successful as we are coping, can be effective as we are coping, and we can make valuable contributions to our community, community, our family community, our community, our church community, our work community. We can make valuable contributions to our community. So when you recognize and you understand your well-being, and you understand your ability, your own ability, not somebody else's own.
Hmm.
Because if you're looking through somebody else's lens and you're saying, oh, but look how well Marissa doing it, why am I not doing it? But you're two different people. So you need to come to grips with your coping mechanisms, your coping abilities for the stress, for the challenges, for the difficulties that you are facing, and looking for ways and strategies that you can use to help you to be productive. And we need to understand that in our mental health, it represents how we are emotionally. Our mental health represents how we are psychologically, and how we are even as social beings. That is what our mental health includes. And you know what? It affects it influences how we think, how we feel, and how we react, because whatever you think is going to transition into your emotional state, into your feelings, and then what you feel will determine how you're going to respond or how you act. So it also determines how you're going to manage things that present themselves. Any challenges, any stress, any difficulties is going to determine how you're going to then relate to persons around you, your social community, how you're going to relate to them, and it's going to determine, as you said earlier, the type of choices that you make. Your mental state determines the type of choices that you make, and so that is important. It is very important, even more so in this stage of our lives. So sometimes we think, only of our overall, we think of our overall health only as if you have a headache, or if you have the
Hmm.
flu, or if you have a backache, or if you have some other physical ailment that you're concerned about. We think of only that as our overall health. So what we do, we go to the doctor if you feel sick. We're sent to a specialist if we have to go and get tests done, and so on. And those are the things that we do. But then there's that situation now where we have to continue and recognize that overall health does not only mean the physical body, with flu or cold, or some kind of disease, whether it is a comorbidity, if it's diabetes, heart disease, hypertension, but it's also our mind. Because if our minds are not straight, everything is going to be out of order. And we need to recognize that. So there must be that awareness of what is happening with us emotionally. There must be that awareness of what is happening with us psychologically. There must be that awareness of what is happening with us socially. And we know that pandemic has really eroded and impacted our socio-economic structure, and
And families too.
yes, causes to segment into so many different avenues and so many different situations that it has now begun to impact what is happening even in our space, our personal space, whether it's our families, whoever it is, church, home, work, it is impacting us in a great way.
In our final minutes, I even want to mention that it's affected how we deal with our families and
Mm-hmm.
also our spiritual life. And my concern is that you don't want this to become the norm.
Hmm.
You, you know, we tend to forget that a little something has been. Let me give you an example. So we have curfew till 11 o'clock. How many people are off the road by 9:30? Our roads are like, if you drive late, you will see that there's no one
Deserted.
on the road then
Deserted.
like 30 minutes to 10. So it's become a habit now where people get home. We have to become so aware of the fact that we no longer check on our families, or if we have the time to socialize with our families, we don't. And then also how we manage our spiritual life, where some people have not even gone back out to church because maybe of the numbers and also other areas. Maybe they have to catch the bus, etc. But I'm just thinking that it is so easy for the negative to become our norm. It is so easy that, Andrea, that
Hmm.
we settle there and we don't think we need to change or improve it. So
Hmm.
we have to be careful.
Hmm. Yes, yes. And I know we're coming to a close now. And as you were saying that, what I told myself as I was thinking about this session this morning is that what we need to do first of all is identify what is happening, call them by the names, seek out methodically what has been attacking us, our minds, our spirits, our emotions, even our physical being. Seek it out, call them by the name. Because when we seek out these enemies, it is that what we're going to do, we're going to identify them, and then we're going to look now to counteract what is happening. So we have to be very intentional. We have to be very detailed. We have to because what we need now, what we are calling on now, we're calling for backup. We're calling for persons that will stand in the gap with us and support us. And sometimes we don't have that. But then sometimes check Elijah. I mean, 850 prophets, all of them died. God showed himself in a miraculous way. But where is Elijah? Where is he? Under a juniper tree, having a meltdown, having a moment, having an anxiety and a panic attack. The bell said, you know
Andrea,
what?
can I say it's okay if you have those moments too?
Okay, so
Because
that's what
we
I'm coming
think that we
to.
can't have them.
That's what I'm coming to. Because look at him. He was a man of like passion. So that when we understand, we see God in a big way, but then we have a real enemy that's pursuing us, that's pursuing our purpose, that's pursuing our presence in the earth is a threat to the enemy. And he would want to pursue our purpose, pursue our destiny. And it is okay that our lives will be punctuated by those moments, but greater is he that's within us. So David said, whenever I'm afraid, I'm going to trust in you. So that it means that fear will come, anxiety will come, worry will come, stress will come. But whenever we must have a go to, and that is the thing. The problem is that sometimes we don't have the go to, we don't have the default. So that's why we end up hijacked and we end up frustrated and we end up all falling apart because we need to have a default and a go to. And that's where it would rest my case today.
I like that. I like that because Yolanda's there says she was laughing, but it's always it's as Yolanda says, always it's okay to not always be okay,
It's okay.
and I think that we must, you know, even to share this. I'm sure there are people who are saying, really, it's okay. It's okay if you don't think that we may have these moments, but I'm sure you have yours. I
Hmm.
want it to be. I want people to understand that you will have these moments. It is okay to feel like sometimes it is too much. I don't know if anybody doesn't feel that, but sometimes I feel like it's too much. You
Mm-hmm.
know, and I told my girls, you know what? In the last how many years, I don't remember even having a break from the girls.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I said it is okay to sometimes say, you know what? All right, you're going to stay with your grandparents, and I'm going to have an evening, what I call a cupcake moment, just
Mm-hmm.
for me.
Mm-hmm.
Just for me to be able to just not have to get up and look for someone to make something to eat for, someone to make sure they have what they need. It's okay to feel like it's overwhelming.
It's okay. It's okay. It's
It's
okay.
okay. It's
Trust
what
me.
you do
It's
after.
okay.
So we've been there. We've probably had a day or two there, but not to stay there. That's the
Mm-hmm.
thing.
That's
Reach out
right.
and call someone and say, you know what, I'm at this place. You know, have a listening ear. Someone who will say,
Yes.
let's go get some ice cream. You know, just go
Yes.
to the beach. Something to help change the scenery. But it's okay to feel
Yes.
overwhelmed sometimes. That's why
Yeah.
we check in on each other, and that's key.
Yes. Yes. Confront and acknowledge and deal with what's happening. It's okay. And I agree with that. I agree with that. It's
I like
okay.
that.
It's
I like
okay.
that. Well, we've come to the end of our show this morning. I know you probably heard the guys and you thought we were coming, but nope. This morning we were checking in on each other, and I like the comments. And Nella says people have to learn to be true to themselves and be honest about what they're feeling. And I want to say this: this is a safe space. Women on Wednesday is your safe space to be able to share. It is your safe space to share. If you feel you need to have someone to call, send a message to us and we'll
Mm-hmm.
respond. This
Yes.
is a safe space. Too often people feel as if I let people know that I cried or I wasn't dealing with this well, someone is judging them. I'm okay with that. You can judge all you want, but I'm going to get past this.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you get to your place, I want to be able to know that I can help you through
Mm-hmm.
your journey. You
Yes.
know, Sheldon says we do not always have to be strong for others. Let others know that we feel hurt too. And of course, we don't have to stay there. I like that. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Good morning to you, Donna and to Nella. I just want to say to you, thank you for joining us this morning. Like and share our video this morning. Like it, hit that like button and share with us this morning as we've been sharing with you today, just checking in. We have just been checking in with each other on Women on Wednesday. Thanks very much, Minister Andrea Harris, for joining us. Thank you.
Pleasure. Pleasure.
All right. I'm
Bless you.
Marissa Boyce. Thank you so much for joining us today on Women on Wednesday. From the rib of man, you came. Mother, daughter, sister, aunt. You are woman. The essence of life is birthed by you. We are all on a journey with our goals in view. Be strong, be empowered today as we present Women on Wednesday.